Hey legend, thank you for cruising by my channel where I talk about dual enrollment, business, and tech. My name is Amara, also known as A Young Legend, and today I'm going to share with you the pros and cons of dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is not just a single-use program for students to enroll in college classes. This is a national program that is different in every single state, even in other countries or regions of those countries. It's so specific, so a student really needs to evaluate if this is for them. If you are new to the dual enrollment program and still wanting to learn more about how this could benefit you, definitely check out my What is Dual Enrollment video. It explains 6 commonly asked questions that I get. The pros and cons that I'll be sharing today are about the dual enrollment program as a whole, but if you're looking for a head start, dualenrollment.co is the place you need to go. A lot of the clients that I work with through the dual enrollment company have the same question about dual enrollment versus AP, and again, what the pros and cons are of pursuing one program over the other. I also have a video on dual enrollment versus AP, so it addresses a lot of the questions that I'm sure you have. The first advantage I have of taking dual enrollment classes is you get the chance to experience the environment and workload of college before you graduate high school. This will help you decide if 1, college is for you, and for some people it's not. 2, what kind of college experience they like. Some people may prefer the university, large campus atmosphere, or they may want school that's a lot smaller, individualized attention. And then if you really want to graduate before you graduate high school. For me, even though I was pursuing a program, I wanted to have the choice to be finished with college when I graduated high school. And I didn't have to go back to school if I didn't want to, which was very important to me. The second pro I have is being able to pursue tons of majors and explore your interests. For a good amount of students, when they enter college, they are undecided for multiple years. And as a dual enrollment student, you get the chance to take college classes while you're in high school, and by the time you graduate and transfer, or even while you're still a dual enrollment student, you can choose what major you want. So for me, I really wanted to try computer science classes. And actually my first semester of taking dual enrollment courses, I had the chance to enroll in an intro to programming logic class. And that helped me really solidify that I wanted to pursue computer science as a major and career. So you can decide to take a medical concepts class to help you kind of get an introduction to that field, and then you can take an intro to programming logic. Totally different spectrums, but you have the chance to do that within your dual enrollment program. And the only difference that you should definitely keep in mind is that if you're trying to graduate with a degree, for example, an associate of science, arts, applied anything, a lot of those classes, if you're trying different ones out, will not apply. And that could end up derailing you on your path to graduate. But if you're just trying them out and you have the chance to take free or reduced college classes, definitely pursue that option, but don't try to factor those classes into graduating. Number 3 is the chance to play college sports. I love to be able to share this advantage of the dual enrollment program because a lot of people don't think about the chance to do college sports. That is so cool. There are students who are 16 years old playing college volleyball. It again gives them leverage for their transfer college. It allows them to decide if sports is really for them, and it allows them to push themselves. That's one of the benefits of taking college classes, is you're taking the next step in your education. But imagine being able to do that and take the next step in your athletic career too. The next advantage is being able to save up to $40,000 in college tuition. This is amazing. I was able to save $20,000 with my Associate of Science degree, but I also graduated at 16 years old. So if I were to stay in school, I would have pursued my bachelor's degree to get that paid for. For some people, they are pursuing a bachelor's degree to be paid for. And if you start even younger or you're on a more advanced path, you can pursue a master's degree. A lot of colleges that you could work with have a 3+1 program where you can get a master's degree in 4 years. The most obvious benefit of taking dual enrollment classes is starting college early. But this allows you to think about the long term. If you start college early, most of the time that means you finish college early. I'll be graduating with my bachelor's degree at 19 years old. So I am 3 years ahead of the game that can apply to saving for retirement, buying a house earlier. I have less college tuition that I took out in student loans because of the program. If you are a student that is very GPA focused, or you're considering attending an Ivy League school where they also look for that, dual enrollment classes are on a 5.0 GPA scale. And most of the time, you will be 1 letter grade above what you got in college. So for example, if I got a B in my college class, when it transfers to my high school transcript, depending on the actual grade you got, it could be an A in your high school transcript. That means if you were to get an A in your college classes, that can push you above a 4.0. So if you are considering AP or honors courses to get higher GPAs and try to reach over 4.0, dual enrollment classes are a great option. The 7th pro that I have is flexibility. Depending on the school that you are attending high school and the college you are trying to take college classes through, you can have the chance to take online classes, in-person classes, classes at your high school, classes at a local branch, hybrid, meaning 11, 6-week, 8-week courses. There's so many options. And for me, I was able to go through a community college and I went to school on campus. But sometimes I took only Saturday classes, online classes, hybrid, and that really allowed me to create a schedule around other people because I was 14 at the time, so I needed someone to drop me off at school. The last advantage of taking dual enrollment classes is that your classes are 16 weeks long. So during fall and spring semester, the classes duration is about 16 weeks. If you were to take classes in the summer, it may be about 11 weeks. If you were to take online classes where they're shorter, at my school, they're only 8 weeks. So things like that, you aren't taking classes during a full school year, so about 9 months. That means you can get 2 sets of classes done in 1 school year. That's how I was able to graduate early. Is I went year round and I knocked out tons of classes every single semester and I got dual credit. So that's how it works if you're interested to know how to graduate high school and college early. Unfortunately, there are cons to the program, but with everything, nothing gold can stay. So here is the first con. If you are to fail a class, you may get a letter grade on your college transcript representing that you failed the class. That could show up on your record and a school may flag that as an option, especially if you're considering going to a very competitive school. That could be a determining factor in accepting you. Also, you'll get a lower GPA. Some dual enrollment programs, if not all of them, will probably require that you have to pay the class that you failed. And depending on the school that you're attending, if you decided to go to a private university and take a college class, that could be $1,100 a credit hour. So make sure that you have a procedure in place when you're struggling with a class, whether that means you reach out to the teacher to see what you could do to help your grade, you go to tutoring services every day or every week, or you drop the class before the add drop period so that you don't get as penalized for it as you would with failing the class. The next con that I have is there is no transportation to college classes. I have heard of one school in Ohio that would provide bus transportation to schools, and if there's a bridge program where a high school is near a college, there are some options there for a bus to be able to take you or for you to be able to walk on campus. So that's why the flexibility of the dual enrollment program, especially if you go to a community college, is very important, because if your parents work, there's options for you to still take dual enrollment classes. When you're taking college classes, you pretty much need self-discipline. You need to be able to maintain your own schedule, make sure your work gets done. So once you go to college, there's a different level of maturity that you need. I think everybody can do it as long as you manage your time well, and that is something that can be learned. The next con that I have is the GPA is weighted. I already mentioned that, but for some people that's really important. So if you are relying heavily on a good GPA, depending on the school that you're trying to transfer to, make sure to keep that in mind. The other con of dual enrollment classes is you're early. You're early taking classes, you're early graduating, and if you don't have a process in place to be able to pursue dual enrollment classes and make sure that you're still on track with life, it can catch up to you. A great example of this is if you are pursuing a bachelor's degree while you're in high school and you're going through school focusing on it, but you didn't think about the other things that a lot of students pursue when they're going through a program, and one of which is internships and getting related job experience, networking, things like that. Depending on your major, you can come out of a program not prepared for a career after college. So make sure as you're pursuing this program, you're on the right track in the other areas of your life too, including financially. If you're graduating college at 16 and high school at 16 like I did, I signed for loans at 16 to attend a transfer college. So I had to be honest with myself about, I'm taking out loans at 16 years old. Do I fully understand the magnitude of what I'm doing? Luckily, the cons that are listed in this video today can be helped. There are pros that go with each con, and I guess that makes it a little bit hard to still decide on. It may leave you on the fence, but that's why hearing stories of others pursuing the program can tie a bow on whatever decision that you're making so that you feel confident about taking the leap of faith. There are plenty of resources for you to get your questions answered. I'm one of which, if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out or comment down below. You have your parents, some of which may have pursued the program. Try one college class, and that can just be one class at your high school taught by your high school teachers in that environment to see if it's for you. We know a lot of the students are trying to decide if it's for them. That's why we are very heavy on prospective dual enrollment students, because that's where everyone starts. Once they get into the program, they decide if it's for them and they go full force, or they scale it back and they tried it once but it didn't work out. There are students where it just doesn't work out. All the cons listed in this chart were enough for me to decide to pursue the dual enrollment program, and I'm a college graduate at 16 and I'll be again soon at 19. So if that's enough for you, there's your sign. So remember, every young legend started out with the dream to be legendary. Bye, legend.